Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Garrett Horner. This is stage 18 of the 24 Tour de France, brought to you by Ketone 8. KE4 is what the pros like to drink here after stage of the Tour de France. If you're looking to save 15% off your next box of Ketone 8, make sure you use the code BUTTERFLY. Now let's get into today's stage 18 of the 24 Tour de France. As we know, it's 180 kilometers, 5 categories climbed. That means about 115 miles in length. But the 5 category climbs, well, they're all category 3, and they're about 5.5%. The penultimate climb, we're talking about 7 kilometers. And the last climb of today's stage, which will summit about 40 kilometers to go, that climb's still under 6%, about 5.5. We're talking about 4 or 5 kilometers long. So this stage is certainly one for the breakaway specialists. Could it be one for the sprinters? Maybe, if you're Wout van Aert. Michael Matthews climbs okay. We got some other sprinters in starting stage 18, like Arnaud Delis from Lotto Destiny. He's a pretty good climber too. So if these 3 climbers can get together and work together, maybe they can make something happen. But a lot of the other climbers, when you're starting today's stage 18, when you're talking Mark Cavendish type climbers that can't climb at all, those guys got to survive today's stage. So the pure sprinters are thinking survive. The GC guys, they want to get through today's stage without losing any time, without having any incidents. With the breakaway specialists, well, they know what they want. So 90% of the peloton right now want to be in the break up the road, so you know it's going to be an exciting start to the stage. Now, when the riders roll out, we got all the favorites on the start line there. Tadej Pogačar wearing the race leader's yellow jersey. We see Jonas Vingegaard wearing the polka dot jersey, and Biniam Girmay, the sprinter, the Eritrean sprinter here, that's won 3 stages of the Tour de France. They're all at the front of the row as they're starting to roll out in the neutral section. We see Total Energy right there, Matteo Vescher. He's going to crash into the left side there on the fencing. I guess they're parking guardrails there as we see the Total Energy rider fall over. He's going to get up and get back on his bike. We'll see his director sportif pat him on the back there as he continues here in the neutral zone section. Now, as he's riding up to the back of the group there's still some more action because everybody's nervous. It's starting to slow down as they're going up the hill, and we see some guys getting tangled up, and it's my man, Victor Campenaerts. He looks like he's got to do some little maneuver in there on the left side with the curb there, and all the riders are hopped up on the sidewalk with my man Victor Campenaerts holding it upright. But you see Ineos right there as he's got to put his foot down to make sure we avoid crashing here in the neutral zone section. That means it's nervous. When you see it's all packed curb to curb as we get closer to kilometer 0, and they're just 20 wide and they're only like 10 deep, you know right now it's nervous. Everyone knows there's going to be action when they hit kilometer 0. Well, we hit kilometer 0, there's no action because they got to wait for a rider, but it only takes about 500 meters after that, and you see Prudhomme there, the director sportif here of ASO, the Tour de France, he's waving the flag out there, and now the action starts. Once the action starts, we see Mathieu van der Poel. He's attacking, following attacks left and right through the early parts of this race. And there's so many attacks I can't even cover, and we'd be sitting here for an hour just talking about how many different attacks is happening until we get into about 55 kilometers to go. Then we see a massive sized group go up the road. We'll call it about 30 riders. They're coming into the first of the KOM climbs here with about 152 kilometers to go. Once the group in front of about 30 plus riders starts going up the first KOM, we look behind. It's Movistar. That's Moss. Moss is throwing down massive because he's got Lezcano on his wheel. Just behind Lezcano in the picture, well, that's Richard Carapaz. Remember Richard Carapaz? Because he won the stage yesterday. So EF Education are going hard to get up into this front huge group. Behind Richard Carapaz, that's Guillaume Martin there from Cofidis. All 3 riders will close up to the back of this group, and now we'll call it about 35 riders. As that group's going up front, the peloton behind still hot on the heels. Now we're going to see 2 more riders launch out of the group back there. We got FDJ's Valentin Madouas there, and we got Dorian Godon from AG2R. We'll see the 2 riders latch onto the back of the peloton, and then we're going to see Valentin Madouas. Well, he gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar as he pulls it out. He's still got one hand on the handlebar, but one is off, and then they start braking in the front, and Valentin Madouas got to get on the brakes hard as he's overlapping the wheel there in front of him from the Movistar rider. As he's overlapping, look at the back wheel come high up in the air there. Then he saves it and drops it back down, and he looks back over his shoulder. I don't know what it is. Everyone always likes to look back over their shoulder when there's a big-time incident happening, but he pulled it out. He saved it. We got 36, 37 riders in this front group. Now, the front group's working well together. But now I'm going to take you into a director's role of what the team director in the car would be thinking right now. So I'll pull my little cheat sheet. All the directors, usually there's 2 in the car, or 1 driving and director sitting in the passenger side. He's going to have his cheat sheet on his phone here, and it's going to show a list of 36 riders. When you start looking down this list, you're going to see that there's two from Visma bikes. One was Wout van Aert, and in his interview, he said he'd like to give it a try to win today's stage here. So Visma bike got two riders in there. They got Bart Lemon, the rider who took the place of Sepp Kuss, and they got Wout van Aert in this front group. Now there's 36 riders though, maybe 37 still at this point in time. So Wout van Aert's going to have to pull some magic because he only has one teammate. Well, what kind of magic would the director sportif want to pull if he has his cheat sheet in his car? First thing he's going to do is look a little further down. He's going to see Michael Matthews there. Michael Matthews from Jayco Lula, well, Michael Matthews is a sprinter, and in his interview, he talked about how this stage here is one for the breakaway guys. He's a breakaway specialist, and he's a sprinter, so he's interested in today's stage too. That's why he's in the break. He has Chris Juul Jensen with him, so between the two sprinters, they got only 4 riders. Now, that means you got Bart Lemon that can work and try to hold things together, and Chris Juul Jensen. Chris Juul Jensen, from time to time, he can climb, but he's going to have a little bit of a harder stage 18 here. So if you're Visma bike and you're looking at Wout van Aert, what else do I see? Well, when you start looking down the list, you're kind of in trouble because you go into EF Education that have 3 riders here. Richard Carapaz made it across, Ben Healy made it across, and Sean Quinn made it across, the U.S. Pro Champion. But those guys don't want it to be a field sprint. Those guys are going to be trying to break away, so Wout van Aert isn't going to be capable of covering 3 of those guys. So when you start looking further down, you can see, well, there's a team in here with 4. That's called Total Energy, but they don't have a pure sprinter that would want to bring it all the way to the line. I highlighted Steph Cross there because he's kind of fast, so maybe if Wout van Aert got up the road, Steph Cross might think, okay, I'll be willing to work with the big guy, but most likely he'd lose. So that's not a good option. You go to Movistar here with 3 riders, and you got Alex Aaron Burrow. Aaron Burrow's fast too, but he's not a pure sprinter. Would he be willing to work along with Wout van Aert in the front group? Probably not. So the director sportif from Visma bike and from Michael Matthews' Jayco squad, they don't have a whole lot of help. A lot of time you can look down that list and just go, well, this guy would want it to be a field sprint. This guy would. We use his teammates and my teammates, and we can keep this whole group together of 36. But that's not the case today. So Wout van Aert's in trouble, and Michael Matthews is in trouble too. Even though when you look at this group, they're like, wow, they got numbers in here. They might be able to do something. Well, the group of 36 stays pretty well intact all the way into just under 100 kilometers to go, and it's a sprint line competition. Michael Matthews, Jayco Lula, I told you he's a sprinter, so he wins the sprint line competition, and there's a little split of about 10 guys. Michael Matthews now is swinging his hand around because he wants these 10 guys to start coming through. Michael Matthews, this is a bad idea. You're just under 100 kilometers to go. The last thing you want to do is start getting this group ready to start attacking everyone because you still have multiple more climbs to go over. And although they're only category 3 climbs, they're still pretty stiff. So Michael Matthews, I don't think this is a good plan to start trying to get the action of attacks happening right now. But this is always what happens in the professional peloton. As soon as there's a split, everyone starts thinking, this is great. I'm in a group of 10. This is perfect. But the other 8 guys in this group of 10 with Wout van Aert, Michael Matthews, they're looking around like, I just made the situation worse. I just lost teammates and I'm with the 2 fastest riders in this group of 36. So why would I want to work? Well, nobody works in that group, and Total Energy, which has 4 riders in the group behind, they close this group right back up. And then the group stays kind of working together until we start getting in to the 4th category climb here. Now we're about 65 kilometers to go. Once these group of 36 start going up the hill, EF Education start throwing their cards on the table. Ben Healy's throwing in attacks left and right, and Bart Lemon there is covering for Wout van Aert. Every time he covers, he's killing the move. We're going to see Sean Quinn, U.S. Pro Champion. He's going to throw in attacks. Bart Lemon's always on the attacks, and then Ben Healy's going to throw in some more attacks, and then we're going to start seeing riders getting dropped out the back left and right. Now, the riders to pay attention here, Matteo Verscher from Total Energy, he's dropping out the back. They had 4 riders in this front group, so this is a crucial moment because they start losing teammates. As Verscher is dropping out the back, he's got some company with him because sprinters and the faster guys are dropping all over the place. I saw Dorian Godon coming out the back, and then Ben Healy starts coming out the back. As Ben Healy's getting dropped, look at Verscher there. As Verscher's coming around the wheel there, Ben Healy, he's got a rider with him as they're trying to pace back up to the front. But there's attacks happening all over the place, and every time there's an attack, Bart Lemon there from Visma Bikes covering everything. Now they drop down the backside. Everything's kind of coming back together. We'll see Verscher from Total Energy. He'll find his way back on. This guy's had a rough stage. He crashed in the neutral zone section. He's gotten dropped up the 4th category climb here. He's found his way back on. Now they're coming across the bridge, and we'll see it's Alex Aaron Burrow and Geraint Thomas throwing in attacks through the crosswind section. As they're getting brought back from Bart Lemon, again, he's doing a fantastic job of trying to close everything down, so Wout van Aert has a shot at winning today's Stage 18 at the Tour de France. Now they're coming into the last category climb. Now, this is the last category climb, but it is not flat after this category climb. It's still lumpy and bumpy all the way to the finish. As they start the climb, bam, attacks are happening left and right. Bart LeMond, again, is covering everything, calm and doing it perfectly for Bismarck bike. Every time he covers the moves, you see riders looking back at him all the time, but he doesn't want to pull through because he's got Wout van Aert that's trying to win the stage. If Bart can keep it all together. It's a tall order, I know, but as we're going further up the climb, Bart's doing a fantastic job. Wout van Aert will be on the front, occasionally near the top. Once we get close to the top, with about 600 meters to go, we're talking 40.5 kilometers to go in the race. Well, we'll see that it's Kwiatkowski throwing an attack from Ineos. As Kwiatkowski's throwing an attack, he's going over the top of the KOM of this last category climb here on stage 18, and he's got Carapaz following right behind him. Now the cameras, we lose it after this. The cameras start showing pictures of the lake, they start showing pictures of the peloton. Guys, the peloton's out of the picture. They're 9, 10, 11 minutes behind this group of 36 up here because none of the GC guys are interested, and no one in this group of 36 was a threat on general classification. When the cameras finally come back up to the break of 36, well, Kwiatkowski's still up the road solo. We look just behind Kwiatkowski. Who's coming? It's Matteo Verscher there from Total Energy. Man, he's putting on a show. He's gotten dropped and he's crashed today. Now he's trying to bridge up to Michael Kwiatkowski, and my man Victor Campenaerts from Lotto Destiny's locked on as well. We look behind those two riders. There's a group of about 6 riders chasing up there. So we got one up front, Michael Kwiatkowski. He's being chased by 2, and then 6 behind him. Now they're starting to descent. Michael Kwiatkowski is flying through the corners. He's going through the rights and lefts. As he comes out of the right, he's getting set up for this left here. Look at the speed sign that's right behind him. We only see the back of it, but that's the one that's flashing with the arrows telling everyone that there's a hard left turn coming up. So Michael Kwiatkowski swings to the right, dives through the left. As he's diving through the left, well, the 2 riders behind him, that's Verscher there from Total Energy and my man Victor Campenaerts, and they've locked on to Michael Kwiatkowski. Now the group only about 7, 8 seconds behind this group of 3. They're coming through this corner too, but when you look in the picture, that is X. That's Tobias Johannesson there. As Tobias Johannesson comes through, he's losing the front end and he's sliding across the road. That's going to give these 3 riders in front a little bit of a gap as it starts to stretch out to 7 and 8 seconds on the group behind us. Now 5 riders with Bart LeMond in there, and we got Jai Hindley from Bora Hansgrohe there, Chris Nylands from Israel Premier Tech, Tom Squinch from Lidl Treks there, and Lascano from Movistar round out those 5 guys chasing. As we look further back in the group, well, we see that these guys are starting to play some tactical games back there, and they're going to start attacking each other here pretty soon as they can't work well together. Up front, the 3 riders, Victor Campenaerts, Kwiatkowski, and Verscher from Total Energy. These guys are working smooth right now. My man Victor Campenaerts is taking huge pulls. You see his aerodynamic position. Michael Kwiatkowski, he's won Amstel Gold. He's an ex-road world champion. You know he's got some power. But the young 23-year-old from Total Energy, I don't even know who Verscher is, to tell you the truth, what he's done throughout his career, because he's young and he's on a small team and his results just aren't very highly ranked as we started the 24 Tour de France, so he's off my radar. As I'm sitting on the Chesterfield, though, I'm thinking, Camp, my man Camp is in this group. He's going to pull like crazy right now. This is stage 18. We got 2 more mountain stages left. It's now or never if your name is Victor Campenaerts, and Kwiatkowski's thinking the same thing. Victor Campenaerts been always working for his sprinter Deli multiple times throughout the 24 Tour de France, but Kwiatkowski has not had an easy 24 Tour de France either because he's been working for Carlos Rodriguez throughout all the flatter stages and the medium mountain stages and leading them into the most important big mountain stages before the climb start proper. So both these 2 riders are tired, and Verscher, I don't know what he's been doing here for Total Energy throughout the 24 Tour de France. Like I said, he's kind of been invisible to me, but right now he's not because it's stage 18 of the Tour de France, and he's taking pull for pull with Victor Campenaerts and Kwiatkowski. We look behind the 5 riders. They're still playing little games back there. Every once in a while there's gaps, as Jai Hindley's got a gap on the group of 4 behind, but they'll bring him back. We go further back to the group and we'll call it about 30 riders, 25 riders, whatever it is. It's a large number. Wout van Aert's covering attacks left and right, but then he's making his own attacks too as he's got his teammate up front. I'm sitting on the Chesterfield right now and I'm thinking, Bart LeMond, when we're talking about this group here at 5, you either got to be able to bridge up to the group of 3 or you got to hit the abort button, go back to Wout van Aert, kill this group up here in front, and have every team that's not got one of the 3 guys up front, Lotto Destiny, Ineos, Or, of course, Total Energy, if you're not one of those teams, maybe if the group of 5 sits up and goes back, everyone will start chasing. But Victor Campenaerts throwing on the pedals. Kwiatkowski, same thing. Verscher, same thing. And they're starting to extend the gap up to about 30, 40 seconds as we're getting into 10 kilometers to go. As we come into 8, it's the last obstacle right here on stage 18 for the front group of 3, if they can make it over this climb and work well together afterwards. Once they come off the bridge there and they make the left turn, they start going uphill. Once they start going up, they're still working well together. The group of 5 behind, same scenario. They're working okay together, but no one's 100% selling out. The group behind them with Wout van Aert in it, same scenario. They've been attacking each other left and right. So as they crest the top, the first 3 riders up here, the gap's getting up to about 45 seconds as they pass the Devil up here. Now the Devil, he's been around for my whole cycling career. Guys, I was just watching Plateau de Bay the other day from 1998, Marco Pantani, because everyone knows that the record was broken from Tadej Pogacar this year in 2024. And I'll show you pictures of El Diablo there jumping up and down as Marco Pantani was flying by him. Well, now he's still doing the same thing, and we're talking 26 years later, as the 3 riders in front are cresting the top of the last obstacle. On the course, that is. Now the 3 riders still have to work well together, and that's a whole nother obstacle in itself, but they're bombing down the descent. Victor Campenaerts taking pull. Verscher's taking pull. Michael Kwiatkowski's taking pull. The group behind, they're just losing time up there as they can't bring back the 3 riders. We start going into about 2.5 kilometers to go. Wout van Aert's large group back there has got the guys in sight, 5 riders in front of them, but they still can't quite close the gap. We go up to 1.5 kilometers to go as the gap's under 30 seconds, but still enough time to win today's stage. We'll see Michael Kwiatkowski is looking over his shoulder. My man Victor Campenaerts is going to pull all the way into 1.2 kilometers to go, and then Kwiatkowski's back on the front as Kwiatkowski pulls off the front. Verscher comes through at about 900 meters to go. My man Victor Campenaerts is switching over from the back of Verscher from Total Energy over to Michael Kwiatkowski's wheel. As he switched over to the left side of the road, Total Energy Director Sportif, I'm guessing here, educated guess, 25 years of educated guess, but I'm pretty certain Verscher's Director Sportif told him, punch it. Right now they're playing games. Verscher punches it at 900 meters to go. Kwiatkowski realizes that Victor Campenaerts might be hurting right now or might be playing games, but Kwiatkowski wants a shot at winning stage 18, so he throws in a huge acceleration, goes from the left side to the right side of the road. He's closing up at about 700 meters to go up on the Verscher's wheel, and he gets him at 600 meters. As he gets him, Verscher sits up. Michael Kwiatkowski takes the front. My man Victor Campenaerts, is he going to rotate through on second? No, he's backing in the 3rd spot behind Total Energy as they start coming into the twisty part of the course here with 300 meters to go. It's a little bit of bump up at about 250 meters to go, and then it's moving over to a long bend into the finish as the riders are moving into the right side of the road there as they're going around the long bend. Michael Kwiatkowski's on the front. He's looking back over his shoulders left and right. All of a sudden, the cameras lose the front guys as they go under 200 meters to go, and all I see is a blank 200-meter screen because the riders just passed by and the cameras haven't switched over to the front angle, but I'm sitting on the Chesterfield. Go! Go, my man Victor Campenaerts. Punch it right now. You're under 200 meters to go. The cameras come up to the front. We'll see Victor Campenaerts coming around the right bend here. He's hit his kick at about 165, 175 meters to go. He starts his acceleration going around the outside of the right bend there of the 2 riders in front of him at about 125 meters to go. We're 3 wide. We got Michael Kwiatkowski on the right, Verscher from Total Energy in the center. My man Victor Campenaerts flying around the left side. They hit 100 meters to go, and Camp's got a lead here on stage 18 of the Tour de France. He'll fly on the pedals all the way into kilometer 0 as he crosses the line to win stage 18 of the Tour de France. He'll celebrate arms wide in disbelief of winning stage 18 of the Tour de France. Second will be Verscher there, Total Energy, the young kid. Third will be Michael Kwiatkowski. Afterwards, what happened with the group behind? Well, they came in about 22 seconds behind. We'll see it's Tom Squins from Lidl Trek there that wins the group of 5, and Wout van Aert wins the field sprint with a group behind to round out a top 10 result here for Visma Lease Bike. Now the cameras find my man Victor Campenaerts again. He's celebrating as he's talking on the phone to his newborn baby and his baby mama there who are at home because she just got done delivering a baby while Victor Campenaerts was at altitude camp. She was there with them. Victor Campenaerts explained later while he was up doing the interview that his girlfriend has had the baby while he was at training camp getting ready for the Tour de France. It's been a crazy season. He said he had a verbal agreement with Lotto Destiny, but then seemed like he was just getting forgotten throughout the year. So he's switching teams right now after the 24 season and leaving Lotto Destiny, but said he was very happy to deliver a Tour de France Stage 18 victory here for Lotto Destiny and my man Victor Campenaerts, and he gives all the love and appreciation to his baby mama and his newborn baby here on Stage 18, as he rightly should. He was in tears throughout the interview. He was in tears after the race. He was in tears at the podium as you see him celebrating with the peace sign. Then you'll see the camera find his teammates. They're all celebrating with the peace sign too as they were watching the phone right there of the video pictures of their man Victor Campenaerts winning today's Stage 18. Now, in terms of the general classification, well, Tadej Pogacar didn't lose any time because no one in this front group was a threat. Everyone finishes on same time as the GC. No changes in the top 10 because AG2R and Israel Premiercheck controlled the peloton the last, well, we'll call it 40, 50 kilometers of today's stage, as the threat from the group of 36 was starting to get up there because the peloton finished 13 minutes behind these guys. But when it's all said and done, we're going into the mountain stage tomorrow. Tadej Pogacar, Jonas Vingegaard, and Remco Evenepoel are going to put on a battle. So make sure you like and subscribe. And guys, a tip of the hat out there to my man Victor Campenaerts, who wins Stage 18 here of the Tour de France. Man, you make a guy happy up here on the Butterfly Effect Camp. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next edition for Stage 19 of the Tour de France.